Mick Schumacher, Nikita Mazepin. In a grid filled with teammate bromances, this is certainly not one of them. After several close calls and clashes on the track and insults traded off of it, Schumacher has suggested that it might not be possible for these two to repair their working relationship. So how exactly did it get to this point? Well, a good place to start is their two high-profile incidents at Baku and Zandvoort. In both of those races, Schumacher was left absolutely fuming at moves made by Mazepin that he and many others felt to be incredibly dangerous. In both of these cases, Mazepin made late and extremely aggressive defensive moves towards Schumacher, squeezing him towards the wall in Baku and towards the pit wall in Zandvoort. They didn't make contact in Baku and Schumacher escaped with only a damaged wing at Zandvoort, but any more contact and they both could have been huge accidents. And as we know, the first rule of racing is you do not crash with your teammate. Mazepin has consistently insisted that these moves were just hard racing, but we also know that he's made a career habit out of overstepping the mark in his defending, especially several times last season in F2. Mazepin then spun Schumacher around at Monza, which he did later apologise for, and it was the Russian himself who was furious at Schumacher in qualifying for the Dutch Grand Prix, when Schumacher supposedly went against an agreement for Mazepin to run first in Q1, which then ruined Sebastian Vettel's lap in the process. All of these incidents on the track have then developed into a bitter war of words off of it. Mick's uncle, former Formula 1 driver Ralf Schumacher, has called Mazepin's moves life-threatening and said that the Russian has no place in Formula 1, with Mazepin hitting back to say that Mick obviously needs the support of his family to protect him. There have also been suggestions from Schumacher's camp that Günther Steiner has been protective of Mazepin due to his financial support of the team, and then after the near miss at Zandvoort, Mick said he was unsure if the relationship would ever recover, while Mazepin continues to defend his hard style of racing. It's hard not to feel sorry for Günther Steiner having to control the tensions within the team. He's consistently tried to play down the rivalry, and although he has said he doesn't think it's become personal, it has to be concerning for Haas how the rivalry has escalated, especially with both drivers likely to stay in the team for 2022. It's been a miserable season for Haas in general. Both drivers have had their fair share of crashes on their own. They've had to fend off all of the negative PR from the off, and the car has been utterly dreadful all season long. And for a team in last place with a small budget, the last thing you need is your drivers at war with each other and crashing into each other on the track. When you're a team mired at the back, you need your drivers working together to turn the situation around, just like we've seen at Williams, George Russell and Nicholas Latifi. I'd imagine that Haas cannot wait to put this season behind them, and there is some hope that they can improve next year. They haven't done any development on their car for 2021 in preparation for next year's rule change, and let's not forget that the first 4 years of their existence they were regular point scorers, albeit with a pair of more proven and experienced drivers. The other benefit of having an improved car would mean that the drivers at least have someone else to fight with. As Steiner has said, the rivalry between the two has been exaggerated because they only have each other to beat. Most weekends they've been fighting over 19th and 20th place, with the only incentive being to finish ahead of each other. Schumacher is surely destined to move up the Formula 1 grid in the future, and what he really needs to start doing is what Russell was able to do at Williams: show his pace in uncompetitive machinery, taking good results when the opportunity arises and getting out of Q1 on occasion. The last thing the young German needs is to be getting into squabbles and crashes with his controversial teammate both on and off the track. For much of the season, Schumacher's had the pace advantage over Mazepin, but recently all of the headlines have been about the bitterness between the two of them. There's not much that I can say that hasn't already been said about Mazepin, but for one thing, you have to question him fighting so hard for 19th and 20th place. Is it really worth the potential damage and cost to the team of coming together at such high speed? Which is ultimately why it became no surprise to hear that Mick was looking for a way out of the team for next season, but that doesn't look like it's likely to come off for 2022. So if Haas are going to do better next year, these two may have to find a way of getting along. It remains to be seen whether the tensions between them will cool off, but one thing is for sure, and that's that right now it isn't doing either of them or Haas any good. Let me know what your take on the Haas drivers rivalry is in the comments, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe. We're a new channel and we aim to release new Formula 1 videos every week, and any support is much appreciated.